righty, let's jump into this thing. What's poppin', everybody? My name is AJ Writes Crypto. It is Monday, September 9th. What has happened to this year? It has gone by entirely too fast. But I am super excited to start the week off today. Just a quick heads up, give you a little overview on what to expect on AJ Writes Crypto this week. Got the live stream today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and probably Thursday. We're going to do members only on Thursday. Okay. Probably like 1:30-ish. On Friday morning, Jada and I are flying to Las Vegas to go to UFC 306 with the VeChain team. Big shout out to Sonny from VeChain. Been talking to him on the phone, text messaging the past couple days. Much respect to the founder of VeChain. It's kind of weird, just casually texting the founder of VeChain. But man, what a great guy. We're gonna do like a little improv type interview in Vegas. Obviously going to be holding it down for the V fam at the fight. Was able to squeeze 2 additional tickets out for my boy Crypto Face. Super excited that Face and his brother are also going to be coming to the fight. It's just a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. And man, I'm just so excited for this weekend. But I am going to live stream all 4 days until we leave. Today I'm going to have 5 charts in 5 minutes or 4 charts in 4 minutes come out today. Tomorrow we're going to do a portfolio update. And Wednesday and Thursday, you're going to have to see what videos come out, but I am working on them and I will have a little bit more content coming your way this week. So super excited for that as well. Want to give you guys a little bit of housekeeping here. Big shout out to all my groggers in the chat. We got Bitcoin, Brian, Gregory Ward, Alex Nimbo, Caffeinated Crypto, Crypto Knight, Ricky Burris, my guy Ogre, shout out to Matt, Desert Crypto, get back to me, bro. We got to film a thing tomorrow. So I have a new show called Decentralized Dialogues where you guys know I interview founders and CMOs, CEOs of projects and stuff like that. And that's great because like you're really getting the coverage from the source, from the people that are actually doing the project. That's always good, especially for alpha. But I also think it's equally important to also talk to the project community, the real holders that have been in that project for years and years and years and know what it's like to hold VeChain or Algorand or HBAR or Cardano or Ethereum or Solana, whatever. And that's a new show that I'm going for. I've really enjoyed the first one. And it's also fun to pick their brains on, what do you think it can do? What do you think we're going to be looking at here? So, so we're going to have Desert Crypto and John Carter, who do the show with the whole Project JPEG Empire. They also have their own YouTube. I was on it last week. Really great people. Great show. Make sure you go give them a follow. Yo, Desert, make sure you put the link to your YouTube page in the chat here. Show your YouTube real quick. Make sure everybody here goes give them a follow. And they're going to be the decentralized dialogue for Cardano. So that's going to be cool to talk with them about Cardano and what their expectations are and what it's like being an ADA holder. My guy Gregory, man, I should have picked you for VeChain's episode. VeChain had the first episode of Decentralized Dialogues. But to be fair, I did have 2 pretty legit VFam holders that we were actually going to film it at Rare Evo and then decided to do it remote because we survived the poker tournament for a very long time. All right, so let's go ahead and get down to brass tacks here, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to do a quick overview of the crypto market. Let me get a fresh refresh here on CoinGecko so we know what's up to date. Bitcoin slipping just under 55,000, 54.9. Things have retaliated a little bit in the past day or so. BNB back over 500, Solana 127 feels cheap, XRP 52, Doge just under 10 cents. Toncoin past Cardano again. They keep going back and forth. Above $5 Cardano, just under 34 cents. Chainlink $10.34. All right, got near 384. That feels cheap. Caspa 15 cents. ASI 114, big mover this weekend. Take a look on that. SWE in 37th by market cap. Market cap currently 2.4 billion, 90 cents. And guys, we have absolutely, I mean, there's no way around it. We destroyed, murdered the SWE chart in the Telegram group like no other. We destroyed this SWE setup. We called a SWE long at like what, 72 cents? It went to like 93. Oh, we talked about it on the members only, and it hit the first target, and it just kept going through confirmed targets from the Telegram group. Beyond excited. Got a bunch of messages, bunch of DMs, emails saying, AJ, thank you so much for that sweet setup. Really good trade. And I also opened up the Telegram group a little bit so you can, there's one channel where it's like my stuff. And then there's another channel where people in the groups can also post their setups and post their charts and post their wins and everything like that. And the pulse thing on PHEMEX it was hard for people to join it. It was hard for me to remind myself to post in it all the time, and it kind of just became like a frustrating thing, not just for me but for other people. I still use it, but it's also hard for me to get new people in there because of PHEMEX's new rules. If you go to make a PHEMEX account now, you can't make a new PHEMEX account unless you live outside of America. You can, even if you VPN in, you have to KYC, and unless you have a PAL ID, you're kind of hitting a wall there. So there is that issue. If you have a PAL ID, feel free to sign up for PHEMEX. I'm still doing all my trading on PHEMEX because any account made before September 1st is grandfathered in, and I will not have to KYC. So there is that. So super excited for you got a couple things coming on PHEMEX. I'll leave it that way. Will you be providing a possible discount for Market Cipher come this holiday season? I'm sure I will. Every month, CryptoFace gives me about 2 or 3 1-year discount codes for free to give out to my community. And I do have a last month stacked up. I did not do a Market Cipher giveaway stacked up. And once I get my codes for this month, maybe I'll give like 5 or 6 1 years away. Mike J, maybe you'll be one of them. And then on top of that, I'll probably do like, I already know you can get 15% off using the code in the description, but maybe we'll do a larger discount than that in the near future. So there you go. Sweet. All right. Also, do want to take a quick look at the gainers and the losers here. Oh, got my big tab covering the other tab. This isn't good. 1 second. Okay, there we are. Boom. All right, top. Oh, I got to pull this over now. Look, I'm messing everything up. I'm going to get a fresh refresh here, make sure we're up to date. Phantom, one of my favorite projects to day trade, up 9.7%, 24 hours. Love to see it, 44 cents. Aave, the Tensor ton coin. Quant pumped. Shout out to Eduvids in the chat. Quant pumped. Whoa, 6%. It's back to 70. Not bad. Man, my quant bag's taking it. I think my average quant buy is like $99 or something like that. I'm not gonna lie, man. You guys know how I feel about quant. I love quant. I love the project. I am not selling it. I still have the quant that I bought. And of course it is down a bit, but I'm not in love with their marketing. Not at all. And I hope they prove me wrong. I want them to prove me wrong. I really do. Ondo up 4%, Near, Multiverse X, Uniswap, Caspa, Avalanche, Aptos, Pyth, VeChain, the Graph, Filecoin, all up, 3-4%. Quick little recoveries, good to see. And then in the losers, SWE down 4%, but it's still at 90 cents because it went up pretty significantly. That is a chart we will take a long look at today. KCS, Litecoin, Fast Token, Jupiter, the BitGet token, all down a little bit here as well. Starknet as well. So there you go on the losers. I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you guys about. Sorry, reading the chat here for a second. Awesome. Love to see it. Good morning to everybody saying good morning. GM to the GMers. So going to keep it 1,000% with you guys today. The news today, when I read through even last night, there's nothing like that significant. There's nothing like that important going on. A couple things I will touch on, but there's nothing like that tangible, like rock solid, So in lieu of the lack of news, which we will cover the news here immediately. After that, we are going to take a deep dive, like an almost members deep dive into the charts. And I really want to take a look at the stock market. I want to look at the dollar. I want to look at dominance. I want to look at the total and the total 3. I want to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe Solana, and then a handful of altcoins. Because I want to look at like the charts that determine the other charts. Because this is kind of something that I really want to get through the minds of beginner traders. I got to get these Uggs off my feet. My feet are sweating. They're comfortable, but dude, they get hot. All right, barefoot live stream. Let's do this. All right, so because this is the thing I want to get through the brains of beginners is that if you're trading a chart, all right, let's say you're trading SWI. Let's say you're trading SWI. That's a tongue twister. If you're only looking at the SWI chart when you're trading SWI, in my opinion, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. Does the dollar, the total 3, the dominance, Bitcoin, the stock market, do all of those charts immediately, directly correlation affect SWI? No, they don't. But is there a correlation somewhere between the macro, all of those charts I mentioned, to any coin you're trading at any time? I would say yes. Yes, there is. And I think that it's important to at least know, to have like the holistic concept on what's happening with everything else and how that affects alts. And to have that concept in your brain is like, could not be more important. And with the combination of those charts that I'm talking about, that is why this show is called The Return of the Bull Market. I think that September is going to be a classic September. But I also think that once we get through this month, once we get through it, the end of the year will be reminiscent of the end of 2020, and the beginning of 25 will be reminiscent of the beginning of 2021. So what I'm saying is that this is the month to pack your bags. This is the month to really make sure you're doing everything you can to get in at these prices, because a lot of them I don't think we're going to see again. And I'm not just saying this because I like to hear myself talk. I'm not just saying this because this is a guess. I really think that is the case. And we are going to get into that. But first, let's break down a couple. You guys are hilarious. A couple of news stories really fast. But I do have a couple of things in the chat I want to cover here really fast. Desert Crypto, AJ, is the token unlock site worth of subscription? I don't pay for a subscription on token unlocks, but for anybody who has just kind of joining this party, token unlocks is a great. Oh, okay. So now they have like a little paywall. Okay. So I will say token unlock is a good. I'm going to say don't show this again. I'm not going to pay for this right this second. If I have to. But it's really good to kind of zone in on the tokenomics of any given project, because there's cliff unlocks, the linear unlocks. We know what those are. If you don't know what those are, just give it a quick Google. It's really quick. I've explained it 1,000 times on this show. But so let's look at like Aptos, for instance, right? So I wonder how much they're putting behind the paywall. Okay, so like here, so Aptos has a cliff unlock, as in a linear unlock is just when things slowly unlock over time, like a linear vesting schedule, and a cliff is like once every couple months or once a year, like Pyth, where it's like like tokenomics are like this, and then boom, and then it like goes up like a staircase. Okay, and so here, Aptos, 2.3% of the circulating supply, worth $66.16 million, is going to cliff unlock into the supply in 1 day, 18 hours. So there's good things to be aware of when it comes to, okay. And also you can see the vesting schedule for free if you sign in, which will show, the actual. So, and I do have an account. I know that I have an account, but I don't think I pay for it. So I'm going to have to look into that, because this is a new thing for them. But I do like this website. It's a very useful tool, especially if you want to zone in on tokenomics. Good question to Desert Crypto. I am wearing pants, I promise. What's your opinion about Cardano? I do like Cardano. I always have liked Cardano. I do not agree with Ben about Cardano at all. Ben and I don't agree on everything, and that's totally fine. I mean, he can be wrong. That's cool. I'm joking, but maybe. But I've always liked Cardano, and it comes down to when you think about a project, the first thing I think about anyway is their leader. Does the project have a rock solid rock star of a leader? When you think Ethereum, you think Vitalik. When you think Cardano, you think Charles. You think Dogecoin, you think Elon. Like you connect, you connect. You think Chainlink, Sergey Nazarov. Like you connect the leader in your brain. And first of all, Cardano has a rock star of a leader. Charles is one of the most transparent, does his own warm, sunny Colorado shows. Like I love that. I love that. Cardano has a rock solid community. And although some people will say, oh, it's dead, it hasn't pumped, these are impatient people that probably bought at 90 cents and are still holding at 34. And a lot of people that talk like that about Cardano are people that did not time the market correctly and have been consequently burned from Cardano. And I think that is a lot of the, volatile sentiment. A lot of the word vomitish people that don't like Cardano are all people that have been burned by it. That's a main thing. Second, look at how well Cardano did last bull run. And at the end last bull run, Cardano was a fraction. It was a shell of what it is now. I mean, dude, it didn't even have smart contracts last bull run. It didn't have DeFi. It didn't have anything compared to what it has now. And now it's like Voltaire era. They're already giving Cardano back to Cardano. And if Cardano doesn't at least put up the market cap that it put up last bull run, that's actually like a bigger statement about crypto than it is Cardano. With Cardano as like a measuring stick of at least, like, even if the price doesn't get back to where the price was because the supply grew, I still feel like a lot of projects, the last bull run market cap for every project in my mind is like the measuring stick. If you can't get back to the price, okay, because the supply grows, I don't expect everyone to get back to their previous all-time high in price. But I do expect projects to at least get to their previous all-time market cap. And that is extremely important because say, in 21, you got to say $30 billion on all these promises, on all this stuff, and then you deliver on all that stuff. And then next bull run, you don't get back to that same market. That's a problem. And that's my point. So overall, forever bullish on Cardano. Yeah, Ada Gang for sure. Would you swap Quant for Ondo? I would. Yeah, sure. I think Ondo is a much better project. Its tokenomics aren't as pretty as Quant's. I'll tell you that straight up. But I think it's going to do better. I do. Okay. Got a handful of stories, kind of oddly enough, connected to Cardano. All right. Let me get this over here. Bang, bang. All right. Cardano's Chang update spurs a surge in active users and trading volume. And also, that's not the only thing that pumped Cardano's volume when we consider that Cardano hits record trading volume with Snek.Fun launch. Pretty cool here. Cardano achieved its highest daily trading volume ever, exceeding 36,000 ADA. The peak figures came as a new meme coin launchpad, Snek.Fun, went live on Cardano Network. Snek.Fun saw over 20,000 users join its platform in the first 10 seconds after launch. Holy shit. That's ridiculous. In the first 10 seconds. Somebody clip that. That's ridiculous, dude. Yeah, so that happened on September 5th. Highest daily volume. Charles with the well done pat on the back tweet. Love to see it. Within the first 24 hours after it launched, over 2,000 tokens had been released and trading volume surpassed 5 million ADA. That is pretty awesome. So guys, these are little wins along the way. Bunch of little wins along the way. Tap Tools, a Cardano analytics platform, noted that SNEC Fund will facilitate the entry of new projects into the ecosystem, encourage experimental activities, and likely serve as a model for future community-driven projects on the network. So big shout out to Tap Tools. And I hopefully this doesn't turn into like a Solana situation where all the new projects just are rugs. Like I promised, pull the rug. There was a lot of that on Solana, and I don't want to see that on Cardano. Obviously, if there's a meme coin launchpad, there will be some of that going on. But I hopefully Cardano has a little bit more soul. I hope so. Big shout out to them, and obviously the Chang update had a hand in that as well. It does say in this first article, I shared, notably the successful implementation of the Chang hard fork on September 1st has catalyzed a series of positive developments for Cardano. The update, part of the platform's Voltaire era, as I mentioned already, marked a significant milestone in the roadmap, effectively placing the blockchain's governance in the hand of the community. And that's what I mean by Cardano's giving Cardano back to Cardano. So there we go. A bunch of really good news coming out of the Cardano camp. This is interesting. Rory Friend from friend.tech dumps 26% as the dev team abandons the project. That's like really unfortunate. We all know that Friend, what like the initial version of it, that was a big flash in the pan. And then they tried to like revive it and do like a legit project, and now it's just not looking pretty. Just wanted you guys to be aware of that. We did remember for the rise and fall of friend.tech. I mean, there's probably going to be a Netflix show made about that one day, because there was a lot of money made there early on. I mean, a lot of money. But now, not looking too hot, everybody. A little bit of election stuff. The Bernstein analysts predict the Bitcoin price if Kamala Harris wins the election. As the prediction markets turn in favor of the former U.S. president. That is interesting, markets, that the prediction markets are finally turning the page here. I think all the joy and hype and love from the DNC might have died down just a little bit. The Bernstein analysts are saying that if Kamala was to win in November, the price of Bitcoin could drop to between $30,000 and $40,000. And here are the names of those people. I'm not going to say them all, but those are the Bernstein analysis that said that. And also, so you might be thinking, okay, well, if that's the prediction for Kamala, what's the prediction for Trump? The same team at Bernstein predicts that if Trump gets reelected, we could see a Bitcoin reach 90,000 this year. And this is just one team of people. It's just, it's not, we can't say it's the largest sample size ever. I don't really know how much like empirical data they could use to determine that. But I think the point here, guys, is sentiment. And I'm not really a fan of losing my friends, losing relationships with relatives, arguing with people over politics. It's not my favorite thing. And it's really not useful it's not going to help you. And you could talk to anybody about it until you're blue in the face. But understand, when you're having one of those conversations, with someone who's not absorbing what you're saying, that's not giving you credit for the points you're making, but they're just glancing through the words you're saying to hit a word and pull out a filing cabinet and reach into that filing cabinet and regurgitate a rebuttal or a response to what you're saying. They're not listening. They're waiting for their turn to talk, and their mind will ultimately never be changed. Period. Know that. So I'm saying, when it comes to arguing with people over politics, don't waste your time. When have you ever changed anyone's mind? Actually, even if you're like someone as well read, as well educated as someone like me, who reads absolutely everything, who knows all the information, who just absorbs information all day long, I can't even change the minds of people that, and why would I want to? That's why we vote. That's why we have November. That's why we go to the polls. All right. That's fair. That's fair. But when it comes to the election, if you are in crypto, specifically a crypto person, someone who's like, let's go bull market, I don't know how with a straight face you can tell me that Kamala Harris presidency equals better bull run. I don't see it. There is nothing you can show me that points to that connection at all. And obviously I was at Bitcoin Nashville. I watched with my own eyes Donald Trump. Hello, Bitcoiners. Hello. I watched that whole speech. It was amazing. All right. And I did a tweet this weekend, just kind of putting the feelers out. Like, you know what I mean? I got this thing in the mail, like in the mailbox at my house. And it was like about from Georgia, like Georgia saying we don't want Kamala Harris because of the border and because of all this other stuff. And I was just like, LOL, that's hilarious that like I got this in the mail, right? Like this is literally in my mailbox right now. And I put that tweet out, and there were literally people with like .algo, .hbar, like .eth names, like fuck you, blah. Like, you know what I mean? And it was just like, dude, you're in crypto. Like, what? Like, do you want a bull run? Like, you really want one? Or like, do you want Gary Gensler to not get fired? Because he just Kamala is like, oh, we're gonna reset our relationship. And then Gary Gensler gives OpenSea a Wells notice like a week later. It's kind of less about the petty arguments about Kamala as a human. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. For me, it's about like the battle for crypto is more important than people think it is. That's step one. Because if we push crypto off the shores to the other countries, they are going to use it to kick our asses. I believe that. So like, why don't we make America the crypto powerhouse and make America be the measuring stick for like common sense regulation? You know what I mean? And like, if that happens, the bull run is going to be ridiculous. We have never had a real crypto bull run in the sense of when it comes to regulation, every dollar in the market, the souls of everyone with their money in the market were like, we don't have to worry about a Wells notice. We don't have to worry about the SEC. We don't have to worry. Like, there has never been like a confident bull run. And we put up $3 trillion in market cap, knowing the SEC was breathing down our necks, knowing that the shoe could drop at any moment. We've known that. But you get my point. So it's kind of like, and it's also like, I don't really care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I don't vote on, because of the right, no matter what. Like, that's not the truth. The truth is I'm in the common sense department. What makes sense for each issue, not what the party says for each issue. I think for myself. I don't need to repeat after anybody. I'm a completely a free thinker. And the thing is that like free thinking has led me to crypto. Crypto in itself is like the most punk rock thing that has ever happened. Ever. It's the biggest middle finger to the establishment, the biggest middle finger to the legacy system, period. In 2008, Elizabeth Warren, they all came out with the Dobbs-Frank to prevent banks from being able to invest into anything somewhat risky, which held all the banks. And literally that day is when the large banks started swallowing the smaller banks, because the smaller banks can't do like the special things to get people to go there, and they have to throw their hands in the air and get bought up by the larger banks. Literally the centralization of money really took a couple domino steps forward with Dobbs-Frank. You can't argue that. And what did the counterculture do? The counterculture created Bitcoin when Dodd-Frank happened in 2008. Which one's better? The centralization of money or the decentralization of money? Be your own bank, be, self-sovereign. You don't need a middleman. You don't need anybody. Do it yourself. Obviously, we know what side of that thought process I stand on. Okay, so throw that ball down the road for almost 20 years, not even 20 years, and now we're kind of at like a crossroads where this thing that we started back in 2009, 2008, this thing that we started is catching on fire. It started from an idea to a multi-trillion-dollar industry with a T, multi-trillion-dollar industry, and now we're just going to give that power to everyone else. I'm just going to say, here you go. And while we give it to everyone else, we're just going to raise capital gains to 40-some%. We're going to tax people on unrealized gains. What? And people in crypto are like, let's go. Like, I don't understand. That's it. I'm done with that rant. It's bikes, punk rock, crypto. Hell yes. That's right. That's right. What he said. But yeah, that's where I stand on that. Y'all know that. And at the end of the day, a Trump White House equals a much, much, much more ridiculous bull run. Do I think there still will be a bull run in a Harris White House? That's a question I get a lot. I think it has everything to do with monetary policy. Monetary policy. So if interest slashes continue to slash, if she turns the money printer back on, by default, there will be a surge. But if at the same time, Gary Gensler still has the ropes, they're still, putting everyone's neck under their foot, it won't be as explosive as it would be if Trump was in the White House with a similar monetary policy. It all comes down to monetary policy. We've never had a crypto bull run in a phase of quantitative tightening. So it really comes down to, are we going to kick the debt ceiling can down the street and turn the printers back on, or are we actually going to try to deal with it? And that has everything to do with the bull run. The bull run does come down to macro factors, and the macro factors are better in a Trump White House. All right. And so do I completely agree with the Bernstein analysis on the exact prices on, if there was a Trump White House or a Kamala White House? Not exactly, but the sentiment is spot on. The sentiment is spot on. All right. Going to, don't you remember the war where we left trillions of dollars of equipment overseas? Yeah, I do remember that war. That was pathetic. That was sad. Very sad. All right. Let's start here at the beginning. I did have to restart my computer before the show, so I did lose my charts, but I'll just go through them one by one. That's totally fine with me. Let me just pull like a fresh Bitcoin chart here without a bunch of marks on it. And before we get into the chart TA segment here, hey, there's over 130 people watching the show right now. Thank you so much for waking up, spending your Monday morning with me here at AJ Writes Crypto. You guys are amazing. Please, if you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. 2 very easy moves of an index finger for you makes a very big difference to me. I got a couple of announcements, big announcements coming here pretty soon. I want you guys to be here for that. I'm making moves, and I want you guys, and I'm really excited to look back at this channel in a couple years, and like the 130 of you that are here are going to be like, damn, I was here before that happened. And hey, y'all are the real ones. Y'all are the real ones, and I really love you guys. I do appreciate it. And shout out to Edu Vids in the chat. No matter who wins, it's a question of whether you want to get wealthy soon or later. Yeah, that's spot on, man. It does come down to you. I mean, I had a conversation with my friend, like, I'm not going to say his name, but basically, like, we both raced dirt bikes together. We were both, in the same band together. We're like really good friends growing up. And, there was kind of a point where, like, I went to Connecticut and he stayed in Philadelphia, and he really went down, the business road, and works. He's sick. He's a killer is what he is. And, I went down my path, and now it's funny, all these years later, like, we came back in the middle, and he's like, dude, like, you killed it. And I'm like, dude, you killed it. And it's like, it's really, really cool to see, people you were friends with when you were 14, like, really make it, you know what I mean? And then, like, it's true. If you want it to make it, it doesn't matter who's leading. If you want to make it, it doesn't matter. You're going to make it. And that has everything to do with you. That has nothing to do with, the hands you're dealt. I think it has everything to do with how you play your cards. And, everybody has an equal chance. Everybody has an equal chance. But, so one day at a time, everybody. All right. So let's get down to it here. The bit of the Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's start with the daily chart here. Okay. I do have a little bit of marks on this line, but I wanted to find like the cleanest chart I could. Obviously, I had some support resistance levels from up here before we broke down. And I do remember actually this one. And this one here was actually spot on the money. If you look at this little red uptrend here, it's a bad color, but I will change the color. Make it, let's just say white. My brain was in the right spot on this one. And then once we broke down, lost support resistance, 20%, 18%. That was good. Good job, AJ. All right, so let's talk daily chart. Couple things. We do have to remember that we are in a downtrend structurally. Daily chart structure. That's thing number one. It doesn't really matter how you draw it. You could draw it like that if you want, touching the bodies of the candles, not the wicks. All right. This is thing number one. All right. And kind of like a flag situation. This thing very easily could break to the upside. That's totally true. All right. Let's also go back and talk green dots. All right. So there was a kind of like a head and shoulders here. And there was also a head and shoulders here. Let me move my big dumb head out of the way so you can see it on the oscillator. There was also, a head and shoulders. Oops, did not mean to do that. 1 second, sorry. Also a head and shoulders here on the oscillator. All right. And patterns on oscillators matter big time. All right. And so if you want to measure from each green dot, we kind of got 11% in 6 days. Top to bottom here, 26%, 19 days. And then this was kind of like a part of that one, 17%, 8 days. So I'm kind of group these together because it was kind of like a pattern with one move. All right. So those 3 green dots, I'm kind of going to count as one, if that makes sense, because it's like one pattern. All right. Secondly, there was this green dot. And this green dot is kind of there to show you that not all of them mean we're going crazy up. All right, that was 6% in 5 days. But the other two since then, from right here, we had 28% in 22 days, which is great. And then there's, another 2 quick green dots here, boom to boom, which is also sort of like a pattern, 30% in 20 days. All right, but also let's kind of look at the conditions here. All right, so these ones, while all of these happen, Bitcoin was kind of underneath, fighting at the 50 EMA, but above the 200. All right, for that group there. For this group here, we were kind of in an EMA sandwich. Although we broke above the EMA sandwich, we still got rejected by the downtrend. Okay, so that overhead pressure was a problem. All right. And we were even in the red a little bit on these ones. So what I like about this most recent green dot is, one, we're at the bottom of this structure. All right. And at least, a lot of the time, bottom, top, bottom, move pretty good. Okay. There is, you can extrapolate that from what I'm saying there. So say we were to go from right here to the top of the structure, roughly, probably 18, 17%, depending on how long it takes. The issue with this specific green dot on the daily. I'm sure a lot of you noticed it already right here. We are impending an EMA death cross on the daily chart. The daily chart impending EMA death cross. That's not what you want. That's really not what you want. All right. To be fair, we did hold, kind of hold the floor. We put in a higher low from this wick. Okay. That's good. That's good thing number one. Another good thing is we really want to be aware of that last low at 52. Let's just call it 52.7. We do not want to see that last low, the loss of that low. And on the daily chart, printing a green dot, and with the point of control, up here in the 60s. Yeah. Could we, climb up and at least test the 200 or the 50 EMA, which is about, 7% up the hill. So, but by the time we get there, it'll probably be like 5% up the hill. I think that's possible. But man, what I'm saying is that you see how these times we kind of came through both of the EMAs, even there. The likelihood of us coming straight through both the EMAs as it's impending a death cross is not as likely. And this kind of, I think we could have a bit of a little relief rally here, maybe. But I don't know, man. I am a little worried about this entire structure, to be honest with you. And obviously, we want to be aware of the lows and all of that. Obviously, you want to be alarmed up on this low. You want to be alarmed up on this low. You want to know where those things are. But when we're in a downtrend and we're underneath the EMAs and we're about to death cross on the daily, it's hard to find a bullish case. All right. So there's that. I do want to take a quick look at the weekly. And the weekly, it's different. We are still above the 50 EMA on the weekly. That's a good sign. And obviously, the larger the time frame, the more things matter. Okay. But also, this is kind of where some of my qualms start to get pulled up. All right. We kind of got some volume weighted support resistance levels down here, 43. Get rid of some of these extra little things here. And it's also big time low volume node. We are kind of sitting right here. And there's obviously a lot of volume up here that we want to capture. But if we lose, we have a little spike here at 51. But if we lose that, I mean, it's basically a sure shot down to 43, 42. In the event we lose, and I would say this is pretty close to a volume weighted support resistance as well. So it really comes down to the fight of the 50 EMA on the weekly chart. And on the momentum flow, we are kind of coming down in the money flow, not really in the red. We also are still coming down on the oscillator. And you see the thickness of the white oscillator here. We really, really, really want to see this thing kind of start to turn. You see this white, how thick that white level is. We really want to see that start to thin out and print a green dot and continue the other way. We're waiting for that green dot to print on the weekly. I would look at it every day just to see when's the green dot going to print. Because say we print and continue up in momentum, that's going to be an extremely bullish sign for reversal. But in the meantime, the daily chart doesn't look good, but the weekly chart does give me hope because we're holding the 50. Say we kind of have this kind of hammer type candles here. There is volume above. We can make a case for this, but I do want you guys to be aware of these two levels, okay? Because you want to be aware of 52.7, like I said, and 48, 49,000 ish, okay? And we lose these, it's really, really, really not good. Okay. But I feel that it really comes down to when we break out of the structure. That has everything to do with Bitcoin. And I feel that we finally get slashes, monetary policy plays out, there's a change in regulation. I mean, those kind of factors can easily take us and break us out of this bad boy. It is a matter of time, whether it's, over here or over here, eventually Bitcoin will break out and break up. And you really just got to keep tabs on when that is happening. And can you have scalp longs on altcoins in between here and there? Can you have scalp longs in a downtrend? Yeah, you can. But the trend is your friend a lot of the time. And just keep a very, very close eye here on Bitcoin. All right. S&P. I do want to take a quick little look at the stock market here. S&P 500. All right, we're looking at the weekly right now. Little bit of anchor wave, trigger wave, red dot coming down. I mean, the S&P is not my favorite. And also we kind of have this, this bullish structure here, which is great. I mean, the S&P could come all the way down to here before it pops out. All right, that's great news. But we don't want to see it lose this structure. I wouldn't be surprised if the S&P comes down to here. I mean, look at the daily chart. We're kind of coming down in the oscillator. We know there's volume down here. The last time before it popped up, it kind of had that little elevated bounce above the 200 EMA. All those ideas kind of make sense. And if the S&P comes down to here, bet your bottom dollar Bitcoin's going to fall as well. All right, so there's that. Want to take a look at the DXY. Look at the dollar. All right, so this is probably one of the most interesting charts when it comes to kind of making those connections to crypto. All right, and guys, I do want you to remember when the dollar topped out here, the end of 22, and then here we are, February of 23. Guys, what happened between October 22, January 23? When the dollar drops like this, go look at the crypto chart and tell me, and also look right here, October 23 into January 24. Guys, what happened Christmas time? It's these dips is where crypto and markets in general have their time to shine. When a weak dollar is a strong market. The problem is that the dollar has done a damn good job holding support resistance. Okay. Obviously, be aware of this one at what is this? 100.4, and this one, the little wick down at 99.1. All right. And the deal with this is we really do want to see this thing lose support resistance. And even like local downtrend talk here, it is in its own downtrend, to be fair. There is a lot of that going on. And it has bounced off this level a couple times now. Kind of a rough drawing, but you get my point. So keep a close eye on the dollar. And if anything with the dollar, what I want you to do is go to your dollar chart and set an alarm on this level. It's a good thing if this alarm goes off. It's a better thing if this alarm goes off. Because if the dollar breaks structure, now we're talking. That's something I can get behind. All right. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Oh, Lordy, Benjamin Cowan, my boy. Shout out to the homie. Good friend, Benjamin Cowan. What a great guy. Great guy. And man, I will say that dominance didn't get to 60%, but I still say he called it. Like, if dominance is at 30 something and someone says, oh, it's going to get to 60 and it goes to 58, I still give him a pat on the back. It doesn't have to exactly get to 60, in my opinion. But, it did come pretty damn close. All right. And do have a bunch of kind of ideas here in this department on how a lot of levels where it topped kind of got, held support resistance pretty big time right here. Didn't put in another low. We do kind of have this to local focus on. And we also, we really have this big old uptrend that it's been respecting. Look at this thing. Started in November of 22 when Bitcoin dominance was at 40%. This thing is the talk of the town. So just kind of looking at the 2 hour, it also, let's see that big yellow line there. That is from, these highs over here. So be aware of that. as it comes closer and closer. And eventually, guys, this thing is going to have to either, pretty soon here, point of intersection is probably November. It's going to have to break out or break down. And this, it doesn't go over that far, but this is October. And this distance from here is September. So that this is the distance. So this is probably like November. It's either going to have to break up or break down. So be aware of the only levels I'm really watching here are local high for Bitcoin dominance and the downtrend that it's been forming this whole time, because that's when you kind of put a chart in a situation of you're either going to break down or break local high. And those are the types of scenarios, those significant scenarios that, we can use that. That has legs. We can trade from that. And eventually, guys, what's going to happen, like when the return of the bull market happens, when altcoins have their day in the sun, what's going to happen is this. Bitcoin dominance is going to bleed. Once we lose this blue line, this is when alts can begin to have their day in the sun. All right. Not until then. So this point of intersection coming here about November, extremely important line. Let me check the chat here. I did get through the main macro charts that I wanted. I'm not talking about Sandbox. I'm very sorry. Hoping that 50 average will hold. Yeah, me too. I use the default market cipher settings. They're good. Do you think we're baking in the rate cut? No, I don't think the rate cuts are baked in at all. I don't think they're baked in at all. And the thing with that is that, like, say we're expecting a 50, but we get a 25. Hey, we got a rate cut, but it wasn't the one we expected. So even though we get the rate cut we wanted, because it's not the one we expected, it's a bad thing, apparently. And that could happen. But I also feel that this is not baked in at all. Do you know why? Because I just showed you the dollar chart. Let's hold on. Here we go. Okay. Here's the dominance. All right. DXY dollar. Boom. Daily. Here's the daily chart. So this right here is the direct result of the beginning of Joe Biden's presidency and Jerome Powell hiking. Look, right here, actually, let me draw that a little bit better. Right here was the top of the crypto bull market. Right here. And then after that, bam. All right. And since then, and this right here is September 22. Since then, we have done a lot of kicking the can down the street, but it is not at all baked in. Because there were no rate cuts anywhere from here to here to here. Nowhere. So the rate cuts will be baked in once we break support resistance on the dollar. All right. And that will have an effect on stocks, consequently, crypto risk assets. It will have an effect. So I think that we won't really see that bake in happen until the bake in happens. Like, a one rate cut is one rate cut, but FOMC meeting after FOMC meeting after FOMC meeting, 50, 50, 75, 25, 25, 50, and they're turning the printer back on. That's when we're really going to see that play out. And that takes time. So if we expect the 50 and get a 25 and the market dumps this month, that doesn't really mean shit in the grand scheme of things. It really matters the pattern over time. I hope that answers your question. Of course, I have the paid Market Cipher. I'm sponsored by Market Cipher, and I'm going to do a massive Market Cipher giveaway for y'all this month. Make sure you don't sleep on it. If we got a 0.5, that'd be insane. It would be a bold move to get a 0.5 off, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, when I say 1%, I mean 1% on the chart. 1% on the chart. But that's also baking in the idea that you're always using 10x leverage. You should not always be using 10x leverage. I don't think, unless you've been trading for years, I don't think you should be going above 5. And then really until you get comfortable, and I mean cozy, 3% stop losses with, excuse me, 3x leverage. 3x leverage, man, it's not easy. Like, you know what I mean? It took me a little while to really get comfortable in a 3x setting. And then from there, you kind of just just kind of change the magnitude of it a little bit. But yeah, I do mean 1% on the chart. And that's what I'm saying when people don't, completely. I think a lot of people are jacking leverage that aren't even close to a place where they should be jacking leverage. But yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Why does this bull market feel so different? It doesn't. It feels so different because you're living it right now. 2020 hindsight's, I'm going to have a little pun here. Hindsight is 2021. Hindsight is 2021. All right? Because it all seems so easy back then. We all were doing the right thing every day, right? Right? No, we were all second guessing everything. It's over every 3 seconds. We were running around like a bunch of chickens with our heads cut off. And this is like, I don't really count what we're going through right now as a bull market at all. I don't. I really, really, really don't. I mean, and I know someone's in the chat said they wanted to look at Algorand, and then someone out says a confident dollar in 2025. All right, so I will pull the algo chart before I peace out here. There's still over 100 people watching the show. Before I do this, I'm going to do this and then call it quits. So make sure you stick around, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're on your way out the door. I do appreciate you all. So let's go over. Oh, this is the wrong algo chart. Don't want to show you that one. You guys can't have that one unless make sure you join Telegram group, ajalphagroup@gmail.com. Take your trading to the next level. Very proud of everybody in that group. We are kicking some serious ass. We did last week. I put up a Swede long and a Popcat short, and everyone said, "Do you really think Swede's going to go long and Popcat's going to go short?" And I said, "Yep." And hey, Swede went long and Popcat went short, baby. We nailed it. Absolutely nailed last week. I'm very proud of that. Pat on my own back. Big ego shit. Here, let me find a good. I want to find like an empty algo chart, but I'm kind of struggling right now. Do I have anything on this one? Yeah, I could use this one here. Let me get rid of some of these arrows and shit. But 1 second. All right. Oh, did not mean to do that. Almost there. Yes, getting rid of some old alarms and stuff. Okay. Here we go. Bang. So here is daily chart Algorand. We were very aware of this breakdown here. A couple of them. 50 down, 50% in 100 days. One little line can go a long way on a chart, guys. All right. So a couple things looking at Algorand as a whole here. The end of last year and the beginning of this year made me more bullish on Algorand than I thought I would be, because I was dead set on the 16 cent idea, and I still am dead set on that idea. Let me look at massive support resistance across the board. All right, and every time this thing has a massive inflection point, it happens at 16 cents. All right, so back here, when I first left Hit Network and came on Ben's show, I was jumping up and down right down here saying, guys, we're finally getting it back above the 50 EMA. We're coming into the 200. We get above 16 cents. We're going to go boom. Okay. And sure enough, we went 62% in 22 days. Algorand retraces back to where? That same level I mentioned before, 16 cents. And then off the 200 EMA, boom, 109% in 45 days. This was not a bull market, guys. It's a slight uptrend. It was a lot of hype. ETF carried the market, but that wasn't the bull market. Don't get that messed up. Don't get that messed up. All right. What I like about Algorand is that it has held the floor. Hold door. Hold the door. Hold the door. Algorand held the door so far. All right. We are still trading underneath the 50 EMA. We are right back down to where we started. But what do we know now? What do we know now is 16 cents equals 55% equals 100%. Algorand getting back above this line at 16 cents equals let's go. Let's go. So anytime it's been proven mathematically, anytime you buy Algorand underneath 16 cents, you are sure to half or to double your money. Do you really think that's never going to happen again? You really think in the history of everything, Algorand's never going to reclaim its 2024 high at 33 cents ever? Ever? Guys, girls, come on now. Come on. Of course it's going to. Of course it's going to. We do have a lot of volume up here. 20 cents. We do have a lot of volume up here, 33 cents. All right. There is targets, but the market does need to bottom out. I think if it hasn't already bottomed out, we're probably pretty close. I don't see Algorand losing this level. I don't. Zooming in a little bit to like a 12-hour or even like a 6-hour. Bang. Okay. We have made a little bit of progress here. We put in our first higher low. Okay, that's really good. Even if you want to interpret this bad boy as a shoulder, head, shoulder, you damn well could. You damn well could. I'm going to probably draw that right here. Okay, bang. To the bottom, to the top, boom. And that takes us, well, ironically enough, right to support resistance right there. That'd be a good start to 20 cents. That could play out. That very well could play out. But the first thing, at least on the 6-hour, I will say it is damn good that Algorand has closed above the 50 EMA on the 6-hour. So that is step one. Step one. We're also kind of in a little bit of volume here. When I zoomed closer, of course, the volume became more local. But it's always the visible range volume profile, and that's kind of the volume I was looking for there. When it's kind of we're in between. All right, and we're kind of either going to split down here or we're going to kind of come back up here and fight towards, 15, 14, 15, 16 cents. Okay. Hopefully that becomes the sentiment. A lot can happen. I think September is going to suck. I do. But I think that October, November, I think we're going to wake up a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised, guys. I really wouldn't be surprised. So, I mean, guys, this is the first higher low. This is the begin. That could very well be the beginning of the uptrend. A higher low is the first part of a new structure. This very well could be the first two touches of a new structure. Very well could be. Okay. And even from here, I mean, look at all this volume up here, guys. There's a lot of volume up here at 20 cents. A lot of volume up here at 20 cents. And we've been here before. And to think about where we are now, I mean, even if Algorand did just 20 cents, that's still 53%, guys. 53%. That's ridiculous. All right. So when you ask me how confident I am in a $1 Algorand, I mean, right now it's hard to say I'm extremely confident. It is hard to say that this moment in time. But you too kind of got to be aware of, like, this idea, this angle. All right. Let me go to like a 3-day or a 2-day. We got to be aware of that, because that could be like kind of like the Gonfan-ish angle of the projection. And, I think if say we use this angle as, kind of a point, September, August 25 is right here. January 26 is right here. And it's kind of between 80 cents, 94 cents, that it's possible. It's possible. And look at how it's moved in the past. Bang, it goes, guys. When Algorand pumps, it pumps big time. So I wouldn't be surprised to at least, but when we start waking up, seeing, and also, guys, don't forget about, here, let me look at like a 2-day. I'm going to peace out here very soon, but I do just want to make this one point before I go. I still got over 100 people in the house. You guys are awesome. Thanks for sticking around. But guys, look at these previous support resistance levels, man. I look back here. Bam. That was a big one. Big SR level at 67, 66 cents. I mean, really look how significant this level was, because this was our local high, August 20. We break it, and then we basically wick down below it, but body off of it 3 times in 21. And then we fight over it ceiling floor here in 22. I mean, I think completely that the 76 cent level for Algorand is, without a shadow of a doubt, the difference between value area low and value area high. Okay. So, I mean, and say that even becomes the ceiling, which I don't think it will, but it could be, because that's obviously a historical support resistance level. We have to take that into account. You cannot ignore that level. You cannot ignore that level. All right. And from where we are now, that's a 522% gain. Excuse me, 562% gain from here. 562%. That's I buy $100,000 of algo today. It goes to that. I'm gone. That's, dude, 500%. I couldn't ask for more than that. You know what I mean? And so, that's only at 75 cents. Would I sell everything? No, but that's kind of a situation where, like, I'd probably, leave 30% of my bag in case it keeps going, but take a lot of my money off the table. Cause, like, you kind of get to a point where, you're playing with 6-7 figures. You're fine with a 5. You know what I mean? You don't need every X you can get. And that's certainly, I'm going to battle my own greed a lot this bull market. I have paid for all of my mistakes. I will tell you that straight up. So, yeah, man, I think that there is a lot to pull from here. I think Algorand is playing the long game, and so is their community. I understand the people that, get upset. No, it's boring, blah, blah, blah. Like, those people just want a quick flip. Those people buy meme coins. But the people that, really understand, that really are looking long term. I mean, guys, look at this. Look at the 2-day on Algorand. This is the best thing yet. Look at this. Coming down from here. Anchor wave, trigger wave. Perfect bullish divergence playing out on the 2-day time frame for algo. That's pretty damn bullish. Not to mention, it printed its first higher low. It's working back up on the 6-hour, closed above the 50 EMA. We know there's massive overhead resistance at 16 cents, but we also know that 16 cents is the key to algo pumps. If we get above 16 cents, it works like a springboard into the volume that exists up here. All right, there is a lot of volume up here. There's no denying that. All right, and also don't forget about massive overhead at 77 cents. But even if we get back to the line, that's the difference between value area low and value area high, we're still talking a 560% pump. So at the end of the day, if you're playing the long game, you're playing the smart game. Algorand's a good pick. I stand by that completely. Will it be the best performer out of the whole bull market? No, it won't be. Neither will Cardano, neither will Hedera, neither will anything. It's hard to guess what that is, and that's just the thing. The best performer is a guess. I don't want to guess. I want a 5x. That's all I need. 5x. 5x the bag I have now, I could be gone. I'm not gonna leave. I'm still gonna be in crypto forever, but things are gonna be different. That's for sure. You know what I mean? And I don't, there's a line. I can draw a line in the sand and say, okay, this is enough. This is enough time. This is enough money. And I think a lot of people struggle drawing that line in the sand. And that's why you ride to the top and ride it right back to the bottom, because you always want more. You always want more. You always want more. I still think you're, for the people who always want more, understand that it's never going to be enough. And I think that is kind of more of the problem. It's not the project. It's not the founder. It's not the tokenomics. It's a you problem. And that's why I always tell people, especially with the group, that for you to be a good crypto trader, you need to become a better person. You need to take a long look in the mirror and say, okay, what's enough? Because if there's not a point, a quantifiable point where it's enough, you're never going to make money in crypto, because you're always going to want more, and you're always going to leave your neck hanging out too far. You're always going to have too much exposure, and you're always going to get your head chopped directly off. Those people where it's never enough, you are my exit liquidity, and you're everyone else's exit liquidity. All right. So guys, I just want everyone to be pragmatic. I want everyone to be mature and understand that multiplying your money by 5 is ridiculous. 20x's will be harder and harder and harder and harder to come across as time goes by. I understand it's fun and easy to listen to the people that say, yeah, it's easily going to 10x, no problem. And they say what you want to hear, and then you stick to what you wanted to hear, and as you ride your bags to the bottom. I would rather say, listen, guys, what's wrong with the 4? What's wrong with a 5? What's wrong with a 3? You know what I mean? If you work hard, you don't need the crypto gains to be your sole source of income. Why would they be? If you're a day trader and that's all you do for a living, that's fine. I'm a day trader, but that's not all I do for a living. You know what I mean? You're going to get to a point where you work hard enough, you're going to have 10 sources of income, 11 sources of income. Easy. How hard are you going to work? How much time do you want to spend? How bad do you want it? Those are the kind of questions you should be asking yourself, not how much can it pump? Because that's you putting your fate into someone else's hands. That's you putting your destiny into the hands of an entity you don't know. You're smarter than that. You're way smarter than that. All right. So I am going to peace out. I am kind of stepping on Ben's toes right now, but I still got over 100 groggers in the house. I love you guys. So guys, please smash the likes on your way out the door. Make sure you stick around. I am going to have a 4 charts in 4 minute or a 5 charts in 5 minute show. It's never actually 5 minutes. I just say that. Today, I didn't get into all the altcoins I wanted today on the show, but I did cover a bunch of other great stuff. And if you want some altcoin alpha, make sure you watch that video a little bit later today. And I will have a handful of additional setups in the Telegram group for you today as well. And obviously, guys, if you want to join the Telegram group, get involved. Come join the army, the Grogger army at ajalphagroup@gmail.com. We're doing great things. Millions of dollars. Everyone's going to be rich. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. All right. I love you guys. My name's AJ Reds Crypto. Get rich or get wrecked. Have a safe rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.